Over my many hours of playing Stellaris, I've noticed a most insidious and disturbing trend. I tried ignoring it at first, a simple coincidence, I told myself. But as the years went by, the evidence for this trend mounted, and I just simply can't ignore it anymore, because if I'm going to be honest, it annoys me more than it should. What am I talking about, you may ask, though? Well, if you played Stellaris at some point in your life, you almost definitely know what I am talking about. I am talking, of course, about the Empire Diplomatic Room. So to recap really quickly, the Empire Diplomatic Room is something you choose at the Empire Creation menu and then basically never look at it again over the course of the game. So obviously, it's extremely important. So what am I complaining about then? Well, I have nothing against the diplomatic rooms by themselves. They add flavor, some look good, some look bad. Developers are constantly adding new ones, which is cool. My problem is how the rooms are used by the AI empires, which is actually where you see them the most. The rooms are not chosen randomly, however, they are chosen based on the AI personality, which is in turn based off of that empire's government and some other outside factors like their traits. They generally determine how that empire acts, and even their weapons? I didn't know that. Basically, the rooms correspond to that empire's personality and generally fit very well. Then, however, they started adding new rooms, this time alongside the species DLCs, and naturally, each room was then used alongside the species that corresponded to it. First, it was the lithoids and necroid rooms, and these I actually like. They fit perfectly with the species portraits and the buildings they represent, and because lithoids and necroids weren't that many in number and still aren't, you see them quite rarely, these rooms were more of a flavorful Easter egg for species whose biology is completely alien to that of a regular one. As this trend continued though, we got so many new backgrounds that like a third of all empires in a game will have their backgrounds based on the species types. And most of these new backgrounds aren't even good. For an example, the Aquatics background. I'll compare it to the Necroid room really quickly here. And as you can see, the Necroid room looks spooky, perfectly matching with the Necroid portraits, which also look spooky, and it also fits perfectly with the Necroid buildings there, as it looks like you're looking into one of them. The Aquatics room does none of that though. It only fits some of the portraits, the background buildings look like big round aquariums, and the room couldn't exist in one of them and look the same way. I will give it this though, it does look vaguely aquatically, I guess, and as a result, it fits pretty well on an ocean world. However, the aquatic species don't always spawn on ocean worlds, and if they spawn on a desert or a savanna or an arid world, the contrast just looks jarring. It doesn't look good. All of these issues exist to different degrees in all of the other species-specific rooms, and in my humble opinion, the cybernetic and synthetic ones just look terrible. There is some glimmer of hope though. The 3 new rooms added in the Biogenesis DLC don't suffer from these problems, and the Wilderness room, if you could call it that, is even based off of how that hive mind functions, which is nice. Still though, I don't think this trend will end, because adding a species-specific room in a species DLC is the simplest thing to do, and I think the developers will just continue that anyways. It's kind of a shame, if I'm going to be honest, because what made all of the other rooms before special is just gone in these ones, because what made them special before is the shapes and the colors and the artifacts behind them. The weapons in the Honorbound Warriors room, or the skulls of the Fanatic Purifiers, they all add so much to the Empire, even if you don't know what their personality is without like looking it up on the wiki. It looks so cool, but it's just kind of gone here. And here you may be asking yourself, Quasar, what the hell do you actually want? Do you want them to stop adding rooms altogether? And to that I say no, I still want them to add more rooms, but based off of something else, like the new civics they keep adding. Like for example, pompous purists, or relentless industrialists, and oppressive autocracy. Because these civics change so much of the Empire. They change how it functions. They don't change their personality, but they change how they function, and in massive ways, and I think giving them a background would work. Because right now, these backgrounds are kinda garbage. They tell you nothing about the Empire other than which DLC they come from, and it's terrible. I do not like it at all. Anyways, that is, I suppose, everything. It's a very short video, but I do have to say, if a Stellaris developer somehow, by some yet unseen miracle, finds this video, I beg of them, please stop this trend immediately. I am dying here. Please, you're the only one who can. Please don't add just a new trashy one for the new species DLCs. I'll die. Please.